Hey, what is up, you guys? Corescubing here, and today I'm bringing you a tutorial on the Edge Void Cube. So let's get into it. Now, first off, this is the Lan Edge Void Cube. I'm not really super certain that there is another brand that makes an Edge Void Cube, but if there is, this is the Lan, and I purchased it at iCubeMart.com. And I'm pretty sure you can find it at stores alike as well. Now, first off, to get this tutorial started, what we're going to need to learn here is notation. Now, if you already know notation, I'll go ahead and leave an annotation on the video, and you can just go ahead and skip to the tutorial. But if you don't, stick around, because it's very important. Now, what notation is when you're reading algorithms, you need to know which move needs to be moved. Which layer needs to be moved. Generally, when you see a letter, it is going to be moving in a clockwise fashion, and then anything prime is going to be moving counterclockwise. When an algorithm has an R in it, what you're going to need to do is move the right layer. R. So when it says R, you move it up once. R prime is you move it down. So it's going to be the right layer. This is R. R prime. Another move we're going to need to learn here is F. So when an algorithm says F, you're going to go ahead and move it in a clockwise fashion. So this is F. F prime is going to be counterclockwise. So F prime. The next move we're going to need to learn here is U, and U stands for the up layer. So when we say U, moves clockwise. So this is U. When we say U prime, moves counterclockwise. So this is U prime. U prime. And the last bit of notation here that we need to learn is L. So this is going to be the left layer. When we say L, moves clockwise. So this is L. When we say L prime, moves counterclockwise. So this is L prime. So once again, L prime. Now on some algorithms, you are going to see things that say R2 and L2, stuff like that. That basically means you move the layer twice. And when you do this, it doesn't really matter if you do it in the prime or normal fashion. It's always going to be a 180, so either way, this piece will end up here. So just for example, an R2 is 1, 2. Once again, if it's at R2, it's 1, 2. F2 would be 1, 2. And even if you do it prime, it is the same thing. So basically, that's all you're going to need to learn. If you don't really understand it, go ahead and watch that bit over again. And go ahead and get it down because it's really important. Now we can really just get, we'll get started. You can actually solve this puzzle without really knowing the notation here, but we're going to go ahead and solve it in the correct color scheme, which is going to be red, white, and blue. And then opposite of red is orange, opposite of blue is green, and opposite of white is yellow. Now, if your cube for some reason has a different color scheme, if you did not recognize it before you scrambled it, it's no big deal. I do recommend taking apart the puzzle and then just putting it back together. But if you do have like all these colors, just go ahead and solve it in the way that we're solving it here in the correct color scheme. Now there is another way to solve this, obviously the cheating way, and I'll just go ahead and show you here. What you can do here is, I don't recommend doing this with your hands because it really hurts. But you can see here in the little crack, which this puzzle moves on rings. So you see this little crack right here by the ring, this little crack here. What you're going to want to do is put a flathead in there and then just give it a little push and the piece will pop out, and you can go ahead and do that for every piece. And then once you do that, it'll have little stands and you just click the piece onto it and then you do it in the correct fashion. And that's how you solve it. I'm not going to go ahead and show you here because it'll take a little too long. But, once you do that, you can kind of get a hint of what your color scheme should be. But once again, we're just going to go ahead and do this in the correct color scheme. So now, enough talking. Let's go ahead and get on Scramble the Puzzle. Alright, I'd say that's scrambled enough. Okay guys, now that we've got the puzzle scrambled, let's go ahead and get on with the first step. Okay guys, so To start up the first step, we're going to go ahead and find any piece with white on it. We're going to go ahead and do this white and blue piece here for the sake of this tutorial. So knowing our color scheme, that means that since this is a white and blue piece, red belongs on the right side. So we're going to go ahead and look for the red and white, which is here. So this is pretty easy. When you have white on the bottom, you can pretty much just move the up layer in any way you need to. So now we put it where the red belongs, and we just do an F2 to bring it down. But as you can see here, the piece is in the correct spot, but it does need to be flipped. In this case is where we're going to do our first algorithm. It's called the flip algorithm, and it's going to be this. F2, U prime, R prime, F, R. So as you can see, it flipped our piece around, and it wouldn't mess up anything else that was around. So now knowing that across from blue should be green, we're going to look for the green and white piece. And easy enough for us, the green and white piece is here on the side. Just a little side note here. If you have pieces on the side like this, what you're going to want to do is do an F or an F prime, anything to get that piece onto the up layer. And you are free to move it around without messing anything up. And then you can just fix whatever you moved. So now that we've moved that out of the way, we just go ahead and put it where the green belongs. And we just do an F2 to bring it down. So 1, 2. Okay, so now knowing that across from red is orange, we need to put the orange and white piece here. So to do that, the orange and white piece is here. Once again, it is on, one of these middle pieces here. So we're going to go ahead and do an F prime because that's going to bring it onto the up layer. And then we can just go ahead and do a U or U prime. And then we'll do an F to bring it back down. So now we know that we didn't mess this up. So now that we have it on the top layer, we can go ahead and move it around. Put it in the slot where it belongs. And then do an F2. So once again, you guys, the color scheme is red, white, and blue. Across from red is orange. Across from blue is green. And we have now finished the first step. So now you can see that we have the correct color scheme here, and the white is solved. So here we have red, white, and blue. Red across, orange across from red, and green across from blue. Now, if that was a little confusing, just go ahead and rewatch that part again. Alright guys, so step 1 is done. We have the white face solved and the correct color scheme. So now, let's move on to step 2. Okay guys, so now for the second step here, we're going to be solving these middle pieces here. And when we're doing this step, we want to go ahead and look at the top layer and look for anything that doesn't have yellow on it. So obviously these two pieces will not work because they do have yellow on them. This one will work as well as this one. Now if you're looking at your puzzle right now and you see all yellow at the top, go ahead and wait, and I will explain what you do after I go ahead and explain these two steps here. So once you find a piece that has no yellow on it, we're going to go ahead and use this green and red here. What you're going to want to do is match it up with the color facing you. So in this case, this green and red piece. Green is facing us, so we want to go ahead and match that with the green at the bottom. As you can see, it is already matched. So once you do that, you're going to go ahead and figure out where the piece needs to be set. This is the green and red, which just happens to be here on the left side. So when you have to insert it into the left side, go ahead and perform this algorithm. U, F, U prime, F prime. So as you can see, it inserted our piece without messing anything up. Let's go ahead and do the rest of them here. So as we can see here, this blue and red piece does not have any yellow, so it is good to go. So we match the blue with the blue, which is here. And then, as you can see, now we have to insert it onto the right side because the blue and red, so we want the red to go with the red. When you need to insert it onto the right side, you're going to go ahead and perform this algorithm here. U prime, F prime, U, F. As you can see, we have inserted the piece without messing up anything else on the puzzle. So now that we know those two algorithms, we can go ahead and solve the rest of the middle layer. We're going to go ahead and do this piece here. Once again, we match the blue with the blue. And now you can see that we do have to do the left side algorithm again. So once again, the left side algorithm is U, F, U prime, F prime. Okay, now the last piece, this middle edge here. So you can see it is already matched up, lucky for us. So now we have to put it onto the right side. Go ahead and perform the right side algorithm. U prime, F prime, U, F. Alright you guys, so if you've done it right, your middle layer should be solved here. Okay, so sometimes you're going to have a case where the piece is inside correctly, but it needs to be flipped. In this case here, we're going to go ahead and put that piece on our right side and just perform the right side algorithm, which is U prime, F prime, U, F. And as you can see, it has taken out the piece. So now we can go ahead and move the top layer to fix it. So this is the green and orange piece. So we need to move this orange to match the other orange. And now you can see that we have to perform the left side algorithm. So that algorithm is U, F, U prime, F prime. So that's how we go ahead and fix that. Now if you looked at your puzzle and you saw that there was yellow, all pieces on the top had yellow, what you're going to want to go ahead and do is just perform any of those two algorithms. So in this case, we're just going to go ahead and do the left side algorithm. U, F, U prime, F prime. So now you can see that we have got a piece without yellow on the top now, and we can just go ahead and solve it like that. And then if it just occurs again, just keep going and going until you get it solved. So left side algorithm, U, F, U prime, F prime. And that's how we go ahead and solve that. When done correctly, the entire middle layer should be solved. And now you're ready for step 3. So step 3 is where we're going to go ahead and we're already, we're pretty close to solving this puzzle already. All that's left here is to get all the yellow pieces facing up like these two here. When doing this step, there will be 3 cases. 1, all of the yellow will be facing up. And in that case, you're lucky. You can just go ahead and skip this step. The second case is you will have 2 will be faced up, but across from each other like this case here. And the third case is going to be you're going to have 2 yellow pieces facing up, but they're going to be right next to each other. So let me go ahead and show you what that looks like really quick. So here's the third case. This is what it will look like. Now if you have the first step, the first case, once again, all the yellow facing up, you can just go ahead and skip this step, move on to step 4. Otherwise, figure out which case you have. We're going to go ahead and start with the second case here. So in the case of the second case, you're going to want to have that put all of our yellow pieces up on, it made all the yellow face up. Once again, we'll just go ahead and redo that algorithm right here. So once again, if you have the second case, you're going to want to hold the 2 yellow pieces on the left and right side. Don't have it like this, and perform the algorithm F, R, U, sorry about that, R prime, U prime, F prime. You'll know you did it right if you have all the yellow facing up, and you'll know you did it wrong if everything is messed up. So, yeah, if everything's messed up, just go ahead and redo everything and get back to this step. But if you did it correctly, you're ready for step 3. But now we're going to go on and get with the third case here. So when you have the third case, what you're going to want to do is have the 2 yellow pieces that are facing up on the top left, and go ahead and perform the same algorithm as case 2, which is F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. Once you do that, you'll see that you will be left with case number 2. And then once again, you hold on your left and your right side, and you perform the same algorithm. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. So now you can see that all the yellow pieces are facing up. So if you've done this step correctly, you should have all the yellow facing up. If not, go ahead and rewatch that and get it correct. But yeah, if you have all the yellow facing up, we're ready for step number 4 and the last step. So once again, when doing the last step, there are going to be 3 cases. Okay, so the first case of the 3 is you're gonna have it already solved. Congratulations, you have just solved your edge void cube. And yeah, so but if you want to keep solving it, I recommend you watch the rest of this video here. But yeah, that is the first case. So in case of the second case, you will have 2 solved pieces across from each other, and then 2 unsolved ones across from each other. And then the third and final case you will have 2 unsolved right next to each other, and then you will have 2 solved right next to each other. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with the second case here. What you're going to want to do is hold one of the solved pieces in front of you. It doesn't matter which one. Just have the unsolved ones on your right and your left side. And perform this algorithm. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And once you do this, you will be left with the third case, and we will go ahead and get this solved. You are so close. Now that we have the third case, or if you already had the third case, we're going to go ahead and get this solved. What you're going to want to do is hold the unsolved piece, one unsolved piece in front of you and another one to the left. Or another way to think about it is have the 2 solved pieces in the top right corner, and go ahead and perform this algorithm. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And from here, it doesn't take a genius. You just go ahead and line up the colors, and your void edge cube should be solved. Now, once again, if that was a little too fast or a little confusing, just go ahead and rewatch those steps. But yeah, other than that, you guys, go ahead and let me know what this tutorial was like. I'm still kind of working on them. I know I'm not really very good at, tutorials and whatnot. But yeah, go ahead and let me know how it helped you guys. If it got your puzzle solved. If it didn't, go ahead and let me know. If you got it solved, give it a like. If you didn't, thumbs down. Once again, just don't be afraid to go back and look at them. It always takes time when you're learning how to solve a new puzzle. Also, one more thing, I am recording. This is not my usual recording, camera and whatnot. But if you guys like this better, go ahead and let me know. I will use this from now on. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and give it a like. It really helps me a lot. And if you wish to see more of me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm out, you guys. Peace.